Hey, welcome to the live show. This is John Layfield, JBL, John Hawk, Death Mask, Vampiro Canadians, Americano. Vampiro Canadians was a different guy. Great story I told last week about that. I actually heard from Vampiro laughing about the entire story. Apparently, I still have his stuff somewhere. I'm not sure where, but apparently I do. So welcome to the show here on our YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Tomorrow we're going to have, it depends on your time when you see this, Teddy Long, better say this week. Teddy Long is going to be on. Got a bunch of questions about Teddy to ask him about what all went on with he and I and Ron traveling down the road. So I got one good story that I was asked about from, I think Michelle Falconer had mentioned this up a bar that Ron and I had went into. And Ron and I, people asked about, was the APA just Ron and I turned up? No, it was actually Ron and I turned down. So we're in a bar one night. We're up in Canada, and we had gotten separated. Ron's on one side of the bar, and I'm on the other side. And I hear these guys around me. We're obviously, there's a lot of cliques here in this bar. We found out later it was gangs. And they say, we're going to jump him. And I'm sitting there thinking, they're going to jump somebody. Then I realize they're talking about jumping me. So I'm sitting there and I look over at Ron. He's way across the way and he doesn't see me. And I thought, I'm in trouble here. So anyway, the one big guy was there and I went up. The fight started. I punch him, get a good punch on him. He goes down. Knives come out. So knives come out and about 4 or 5 guys have knives. And I back up against the wall. And I'm thinking, this could be it. And I see Ron like an Avenger come running across the bar toward me, and right before he gets there, he grabs a beer bottle off a table and he steps right in front of me. I mean, this is some superhero stuff going on. There's knives pointing right at him. Ron cuts probably the best promo I have ever heard in my life. I wish it was recorded. These guys are looking at him like we may have bit off more than we can chew, and they're the ones with the knives. And at the end of it, Ron says, and I'm going to hit the first white man that moves with this beer bottle right dead in your face. And I sat there and looked around and I thought, and I understand, I'd had a few adult beverages. I look around and I think, I'm the only white guy in the bar. If Ron's coming to save me, why would Ron hit me with the beer bottle in order to save me? That makes no sense whatsoever. And this is what I'm thinking while we got these knives pointed at us. And Ron realizes that I'm looking around because I'm the only white guy in the bar and says, no, not you. Those guys look at us like we're the craziest 2 human beings on the planet. And this one guy was right in front of Ron. Ron's got the beer bottle, and that guy's going to eat that bottle. He says, all right, listen, you can go. Just get out of here now. So me and Ron scooted down the wall, knives out everywhere. Everything stopped looking at us. We get out there and leave. And didn't have to pay our bar tab. So the night worked out perfectly well. So that's one of the stories with Ron. I was asked about the story with Teddy Long driving up in Massachusetts. And who was driving when Ron got left on the side of the road in a snowstorm. We're going to tell that story this week with Teddy, so I want to save it. But Teddy Long was the one driving. Now, Teddy's one of my good friends. I love Teddy. Rode with Teddy for years and years and years. Teddy always says he's a bit older. He wasn't around for the civil rights. He was around for the Civil War. So that's that. Teddy's awesome. We had so much fun with Teddy. I was always the heel to Teddy's babyface. So Teddy was the babyface general manager coming out and this player and his dancing and all this stuff. And I was always the heel that had to go one-on-one with the Undertaker. Now, a few other guys did too, but I was the main antagonist to Teddy. So we're in a house show one time, and we're up on the inside road in California, 99. I think we're in Fresno. I can't remember. You got to understand, we get towns mixed up. You know, if we worked 200 shows a year, which we easily did, and a lot more than that back in the day, worked 17 years, that's 3,400 shows. So you get towns mixed up. It's not that, we've all got, punchy. It's just we forget towns. I think we're in Fresno, and Teddy Long gets on the microphone and says, he's about to make me go one-on-one with the Undertaker. And he says, I will not let you make fun of these people in Bakersfield. And everybody looked around and thought, why would he say Bakersfield? There's got to be something coming. We're in Fresno. So I said, Teddy, we're in Fresno. And he can't hear me. He thinks I'm ribbing him with something. So he backs up and he goes, these people of Bakersfield deserve better than you, JBL. And now they're starting to boo him. Now, I'm the babyface. So I grabbed the microphone. I said, Teddy, they all look alike to me. I can't stand any of them. Fresno, Bakersfield, it doesn't matter. Finally, people started booing me, and we got it right again. And the world was back in order. We had so much fun with Teddy. It should be criminal. And some of it probably was. The story of us, Teddy, getting stopped for driving while black in Kentucky, great story. We will tell that one on the show with Teddy and Jerry Brisco. I also was asked by Sarah Dunworth, I believe it was, about the light fixtures in Japan. And I've been asked a couple times, so I didn't know the story. So I called James Beard today, who's one of my best friends. Always has been. He was a groomsman in my first wedding, and that didn't end so well, so I figured he's a bad luck charm, so he was out in the second wedding. But I called James. I said, what happened with the light fixture? And as soon as he told me the story, it's, you know how it is when you forget something. You start remembering everything, and everything came back to me. So we were in a noodle house in Japan. It was me and Teddy and Rod Price, and there may have been some others, but I don't remember. I know us three were there. Now, you have to understand, in the noodle houses back then, they would ban some of the gaijin. They always banned the mafia guys, especially the ones with ink. They wouldn't ban the guys with missing fingers. That's who we worked for, the Yakuza. But they would ban, for sure, the guys with the ink. But they also banned wrestlers, essentially. They banned Americans. So we found one that allowed us in. And we get there, and a guy starts smarting off right away. He's drunk. We're drinking. This is not going to end well. And as we get up to leave, Rod Price, who's one of my good friends, dumps their table on them. The whole table. All hell breaks loose. So we are outside, and here come the bicycle police. We're going to be in trouble. And they have to understand, Americans had almost immunity back then in Japan. The wrestlers did. Because we worked for the Yakuza. We worked for the Mafia. So whatever happened, it pretty much got straightened out. We didn't have a lot to worry about, as long as you didn't do anything too stupid. So as we're sitting outside, we're waiting for those guys to come out. We think there's going to be a fight. I see a light bulb in a light fixture, and I unscrew it. And James looks at me and says, what are you going to do? And to this day, I don't know what I was going to do. So to Sarah, I'm sorry. I just forgot the story. And I have no idea what I was going to do with the light bulb. I just know we were about to be in a fight, and I thought that I needed a light bulb for some reason. We're over there so many times. And these noodle houses, wouldn't let us in a lot. That's why we went to Ribera's, went to Hard Rock to get, kind of some atmosphere that we kind of accustomed to. Because back then in Japan, once you got out of Tokyo, no one spoke English hardly. And it was a real different culture. So we're trying to go to a noodle house one time, and Buddy Landell is with us, and they won't let us in. So we go to the beer vending machines on the street. We sit there and have some beers. Then we go back to the noodle house and say, hey, can we get in? And they said, oh, you know what? Yeah, you guys are nice. We're going to let you in. Buddy throws up all over the doorstep. We get thrown out and never get to go in. I was asked about the SmackDown title bag that Teddy Long had. I put out the picture on Twitter where I had won some match. And I was supposed to become the SmackDown champion. And then Batista shows up, and people ask me what was in the bag that Teddy had. I don't know. I never asked, never thought about it, because I knew I wasn't going to get it. I assume it was probably an old title belt or something. It was not a SmackDown title belt that was made just for that occasion. They planned on Batista coming in all along, so I had no idea what was in that. Got a bunch of questions. You still friends with Ron Simmons? Yes. Can we please get a having fun, Michael? Yes, having fun, Michael. I always, after a while, people made so much fun of me for calling Michael Cole, Michael, that I had a lot of fun saying it, because people apparently enjoyed, or at least enjoyed making fun of me for having it. There's we got a question earlier on a bunch of Texas stars about guys who never made it big and who you thought would have. I always thought, and he didn't. A lot of these guys didn't make it big. Now, understand, making it big in the '80s, if you were in Texas, you were big. So a lot of these guys did make it big. They just never made it to, say, WCW or WWE. I always thought James Beard was going to end up in a booking role or management role or something in WCW or WWE, and I'm not sure why he did. Maybe he didn't want to leave Texas. James really enjoys being at home there now in Tyler, around Tyler. And so I think that's probably the reason more so than anything else, because James was one of the few referees that could actually call a match for the guys. Not that you needed it in a lot of territories, but you needed it, especially with some of the underneath guys. I've never seen another referee that could do that, that could actually call it. Nick Patrick probably could have been pretty close to doing that, but James was the only one that I could see that actually could call a match, call the entire match for the guys in the ring. That's a real skill. And I always thought James would end up somewhere else, but he's somewhere very happy now. I talk to James quite often. Rod Price was another guy. Incredible look, and he was champion there in Texas a long time. I always thought he ended up in WCW or WWE for quite a while. For some reason, he never did. I don't know why. Those things, just happen. Scott Putski, son of Ivan Putski, incredible body, good worker, and looked phenomenal. Of course, he had that incredible name as well. And for some reason, Scott never ended up in WWE. He's doing other things. I'm sure they're all happy. There's a lot of reasons that you go, not just the fact that a company overlooked you. There's two sides to every story. Let's see. Any more questions? Great Owen Hart stories. Got a bunch. And I will tell some of those, but I don't want to run out the show too long. Do you miss your long hairs, Justin Hawk Bradshaw? No, I hated it. Hair was so hard to take care of. Absolutely hated it. Secret to take it the clothesline from hell. If you saw Raw this past week, you see Shelton Benjamin almost decapitate Cedric. Here's what you do wrong with clotheslines. You take them too far away from the body. I took Stan Hansen's clothesline, and that was as brutal as anything there was. I took it several times. You go toward the body, not away from it. And people that get scared, and not that Cedric got scared, he just didn't take it. He wasn't in close. But people that flinch, they'll flinch outside, thinking they're getting away from it. That's when you really get clocked. You want to step into the body to take it, and then you can end up taking it more like a tackle. The clothesline from hell was more like a tackle than it was anything else if the guy would step in and bump as soon as you got hit. It wasn't a potato like a lot of people thought. It was if you flinched or if you went the wrong way, which was toward the arm instead of toward the body. Michelle Bradley asked me, how important is entrance music? Our entrance music was so good that it's hard to say how important it was because we didn't have really that much bad entrance music. And if it was, it got corrected pretty quick. I was asked the difference between JBL and APA. I thought both were just excellent. And Jones did a wonderful job. Who's, I guess, no longer with the company, but entrance music has always been so good that we never really had bad instrument music. So you don't know if guys wouldn't get over because of the music. When Shawn Michaels' music hit, it was, you knew a star was coming out. And a lot of that had to do with Shawn, but a lot of that had to do with the music as well. A couple more questions. Let's see. I answered the noodle story. So I think that's it. Which clothesline from hell was your hardest? It was probably one that I hit Mark Merrill with in Europe. It wasn't because I hit him particularly hard. It must have looked incredible. And when I came back, Stone Cold Steve Austin said, that wasn't a clothesline, that's a clothesline from hell. And that's where the name came from. So you can't name your own finish. You got to have somebody else name the finish. Don't forget to subscribe on the YouTube channel. We got Teddy Long on this week. Some more questions. Know a wrestler named Gypsy Joe? Yes, I do. And I think I answered everything that was asked. So, hey, guys, unless there's one more out there, I'm forming the new Blackjacks with Barry Windham. Last question. Thank you for asking. Barry was a rock star, and Barry was one I copied a lot in the business. Gary Hart, the old manager, terrific guy, said one day on commentary in Texas that I was Barry Windham's cousin, and it stuck forever. I wasn't, obviously, but he said that because I was from Sweetwater, and Barry claimed he's from Sweetwater, though he lived somewhere else in Austin with Blackjack, I believe. But it was a great tag with Barry Windham. I thought he was it. He could still go, and the tag team never worked out for whatever reason, but it was a terrific honor to be able to tag with Barry for so long. Was a great friend. Had not talked to him in a while. Follow him on Facebook every once. I get a message from him. Good guy. One of the real good guys of the wrestling business. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, like on YouTube, all that stuff. Teddy Long is on this week. He is the cheapest man that ever walked on God's green earth. He's also one of my best friends. This is going to be a heck of a show this week. Thanks for joining me.